Welcome to the third part of a four-part series on the Agile Delivery Career free live webinar series. If you're joining me today, I'm pleased to be delivering this webinar to you. Today's webinar is about the business analysis as part of the third part in the four-part series. Before we begin, I would like to ask for usual house rules, mics on mute. Use the chat if you have any questions. Feel free to join the polls and stay to the end because there are some bonuses that will be provided to all those that participate and engage. Now let's start. In terms of today's topic, which is business analysis, a little icebreaker. Can you spot the gap? We need a new app. What is your first question as a business analyst? Please use the chat to type in your response. Yes, when it comes to business analysis, the key instinct is to question the brief. Question is at the heart of business analysis. It's about starting with why. That's actually how you train yourself to become a seasoned and effective business analyst. So, a live poll to start with. What is drawing you to business analysis? Feel free to use the chat to add your options. Again, it's no wrong or right, there's no wrong answers. This is just a poll to understand what's driving you to become a business analyst. Right, solving problems, versatile in demand skill, moving from ops or data, being a translator. Yes, these are all valid reasons or drivers to becoming a business analyst. That's good. So just in plain, simple English, what does a business analyst do? The business analyst is a problem framer. Your role is to question, to then frame the problem at hand. Once you frame the problem and understand the context, then the next steps is to elicit what is required, what is actually needed. You understand what is needed, you analyze the problem, and you help to define the requirements. So the right thing is built and the right thing is delivered. So simply a business analyst is who turns fuzzy, very unclear or vague needs into clear solutions. So an example I can give you is that of a waiter at the restaurant who is taking the request from the clients or the guests. A business analyst, in terms of the waiter scenario, is able to clearly understand the needs, the dietary needs, the allergic needs of the guests, understand the type of food that is needed, and all the specific details of how this food is to be presented and catered for. And is able to articulate these requirements to the chef to ensure that the needs are met and that the delivery is actually as expected. So, what does a typical day in the life of a business analyst contain? So, it's always an exciting time as a business analyst because every day can be different. But a typical day for a business analyst includes starting with requirement elicitation. When I mean requirements elicitation, is trying to uncover, you're the detective. You're there to understand the needs. You're there to elicit and gather the information behind the requirements to genuinely know and understand what exactly is needed. And in other cases, you will be there to be understanding the activities and being able to map out those clear processes, understand what a business does, understand the activities within the different teams and departments to clearly understand how things work. You're capturing that, you're designing that, because that's where you identify the gaps, you identify those non-value added tasks, and opportunities to be able to streamline and improve productivity. Once that's done, the next steps are usually to define and document. So you've gathered all this information, you've been able to map the processes, then you start to document the requirements that are needed. Because these requirements become the medium at which you're able to provide to the delivery team so that they can actually deliver and test to ensure that the solution and the opportunity to design a solution can be tested and is agreed by everyone. So most importantly, when you're defining and documenting this opportunity to get clarification and sign off before anything is built. So there's no ambiguity. And finally, you could find yourself in some days where you're supporting the delivery. So now the requirements is now in the delivery stage, the solution is being built, but you're there to support it from a delivery standpoint, clarification, ensuring that the right thing is built, ensuring that it's tested, providing clarification, supporting testing. So that's what a typical day in the business analyst contains. Now, when it comes to the life cycle of how it actually works within a business analyst, you start, like I said, with elicitation, gathering requirements, analyzing, which is your core piece of activity. You're documenting clearly what needs to be built. You're validating, getting sign off from your different stakeholders. You're supporting the delivery, and you're evaluating what's actually been built, solution that has been built. You're evaluating. So your role evolves throughout the life cycle of a product or a project. You start from the initial need to measuring the outcome. That is from delivering the solution to measuring has it actually met the business objectives. So you are able to add value all throughout the business life cycle. So what makes a great business analyst? These are some of the core skills that a business analyst has. So one thing to understand is that as a business analyst, there are certain transferable skills that you might have from your previous roles, or you might already have in your current roles that can help you during the transition as a business analyst. So one of the key things that are as an essential transferable skill is your ability to communicate. Now, most roles need you to be able to communicate with different teams, but business, technical, non-technical team, but it's a very essential and valuable skill as a business analyst, your ability to articulate clearly the problem, to frame and provide context is an essential skill, a vital skill as business analyst. Other skills include being able to document clearly what is the problem, the context, the requirements, the need, the solution. So it's clear. Can get sign off from it. Very valuable. Documentation and communication are very essential. Another vital skill to have is problem solving. Really understanding the root cause, not the symptom, but understanding the problem, being able to articulate the context, and being able to actually go into identifying what is the problem, asking the questions why, until you get to actually what the problem is. Another skill that complements your problem solving is your ability to elicitate. So elicitate to be able to inquire and really dig deep to understand the problem. Really ask all the qualifying questions to really get to the problem. So that's the ability to be able to draw out the real need, understand what the problem is. And then finally, the two other skills to consider as a great business analyst is your ability to think, break problems down into solvable parts, being able to really decompose what the problem is and look at opportunities to be able to solve it in parts. The final one on the screen is about process modeling. Every organization works within a set of processes, which are made up of activities and tasks, and your ability to be able to understand what a department offers, what a team offers, what are the current deliverables within a team, how it works is essential. It helps you to map the process, understand how things work, identify the problems, and some of the tools you could use could be business process modeling notation, UML, flowchart. There are different tools that you can use to be able to articulately create those process documents. Very important to have those skills. Now I'm going to move on to a quick quiz. A bit of a spoiler, I've actually put the answer there. But what is the global recognized standard for business analysis? You can put your answer in the chat. It's the IIBA. This is the International Institute of Business Analysis. They are the recognized authority in the business analysis discipline, and they publish the Babel Guide. Now, just to emphasize, the Babel Guide is a framework. What is a framework? A framework is an agreed term of reference, which most disciplines or most disciplines tend to follow. So an example to kind of bring it home is we talk about the framework for the English language, which is the 26 letters. This is the frame of reference. And in the business analysis discipline, the International Institute of Business Analysis have published this framework, which provides not only certification, but the reference which the business analysis practice needs to be followed. Now, when it comes to the demand for business analysts, both within the UK and in Europe or globally, there is a huge demand and also the opportunities to earn significant amounts of money is very much real. So within the UK, entry-level business analyst could start from around £28,000. And as you become more experienced, that could double to almost £50,000. And senior or lead business analyst with several years of experience can start to command between 70 to 80K. And depending on the location, you're looking at about 85,000 for places such as London or very much large cities. Demand is broad. So whether in finance, public sector, in technology, healthcare, you always have an opportunity and demand for business analysts. So for you looking to transition or whether from a different discipline into business analysis or pivot within your discipline into becoming a business analyst, the demand is there, the opportunity is there. How do you land the role? So like I said, in this webinar, we'll be giving you tips and strategies to help you to position yourself and transition into business analysis. You need to understand the fundamentals. It's very important. This is key, understanding what a business analyst is, understanding terminology, understanding the skills, and how you actually conduct business analysis. Getting certification provides an additional level of competence and credibility to your profile. You have to practice creating a real process map, mocking up requirements, writing a spec, and this is one of the things that we can talk about post the webinar, how we actually coach and guide and mentor transition professionals to business analysts or seasoned business analysts, actually give them the hands-on practical confidence to be able to excel or to be able to kick off their business analysis career. Finally, we show you the strategies, the interview techniques, and how you actually position yourself to land a role and stay in a role. Now, we just keep it light to talk about how AI, which is one of the newest tools shaping the direction of a business analyst career. How is AI showing up in your BA work today? If you're a BA, please put your answers in the chat. If not, you can just look at answering this question based on your understanding. Yes, AI is now become an assistant to a business analyst in your day-to-day work. One of the things to understand is it's very valuable as a tool to improve your productivity, whether it's summarizing documents, whether it's helping you to initially draft requirements or supporting you in some research or analyzing your data. It's your assistant to help you. The reality is this is an assistant, but it doesn't replace your core skills as a business analyst. You still need to validate, you still need to understand the context, understand the problem, very important, not to mistake it as your replacement. It's just an assistant. In the era of 2026, when it comes to AI, you have to be an AI augmented or AI empowered business analyst. So your ability to be able to accelerate your elicitation process using AI, so help you to summarize, help you to probe and get insightful qualifying questions, help you to quickly summarize and draft and sharpen your requirements. That's what you're using AI for. Modeling faster, the tools can now take a lot of your messy notes and quickly mop up process maps and create user stories. Help you to interrogate your data yourself using AI to query and get some more additional insights. That's where AI comes in powerful. And also, thing to understand is because AI, the way it's a tool that's got a probabilistic outcome, which means it is not definitive, you have to ensure that you're validating, you're verifying the insights you're getting from AI, and you're also using your natural intelligence to query and to frame how you use the outputs of AI. So important, it can speed up your analysis, but you still need to consider the judgment. That's very, very vital when it comes to AI. So some strategies that we're going to be providing to seasoned business analysts. Some of the things to consider as you continue to demonstrate your business analysis skills, you need to ask questions. Ask as many questions and start with the why. Really get into the understanding of the problem. Ensure that you understand the problem. When you understand the problem, you're able to actually provide guided and structured solutions. Validate with testers. Essentially, revalidate, understand, work with them, build something without ambiguity, make it clear, work on sharing problems. When you're in a team, one of the things that I found very useful is ensure that you have alignment meetings. Have meetings with different stakeholders with different perspectives to really understand what is going on. Get this context within the problem, understand it, shape that alignment meetings, drive the actions, take up ownership, be able to understand, right? Understand the meetings, understand the problem, understand the subcontext, be able to guide and provide clarity. That shows that you are a seasoned and experienced business analyst. Let your work do the talking. Talk less, do more, right? Understand that that's very important. It demonstrates your excellence and your competence. Trace every requirement. Always, every requirement should be linked to a business need. It should also link to a business objective, right? You don't want phantom requirements that come out of side conversations that you can't really tie back to a business need, right? Write for the reader, make it comprehensive, make it understandable, very important. These are strategies that help you as a business analyst to excel and to stay relevant. One of the things to understand is your spectrum, whether you're new to the role or you're experienced, there's certain things that were expected of you. So as a newbie in the business analysis, try to master one skill, master one technique at a time. Really understand it, own it, be able to articulately use it in your day-to-day life as a business analyst. Always look for verification. Play back what you heard to the stakeholder, get that validation. Keep a glossary of any ambiguous terms. Don't make assumptions. On the other spectrum, if you are an experienced business analyst, you start to move from your initial requirements gathering and starting to look at building business cases and building strategic business analysis skills. This is how you actually position yourself. And then you start to look at cross-functional alignment. Not just capture, but you're working across cross-functional teams and really building that bridge and understanding the bigger picture. Start setting standards. As a business analyst with years of experience, you should be the one leading business analysis, community of practice, leading best practices, ensuring that the business analysis within your department is working with standardized templates, having meetings to improve the business analysis practice. So, another live poll. Which BA skill would most boost your confidence? Please put your answers in the chat. Thank you. Now, running requirements workshop, processing modeling, write crisp requirements, managing tricky stakeholders, they are all vital. So it depends on what exactly you're struggling with. So there is no wrong or right answer, but it's just about identifying what you're struggling with and what do you need help with. And this is one of the important things, to be able to identify where you have areas of improvement. Could be running requirements workshop, understanding how to run a requirements workshop, understanding how to prepare before the workshop, understanding who are the right stakeholders, understanding how to ensure that you get enough pre-analysis or pre-workshop preparation done to ensure you have a successful workshop, and then understand how to manage and run a workshop, being able to guide the conversations, have a structure that ensures that the objective is met and you don't have a tricky workshop or a workshop that actually fails to meet the objectives of the workshop. Example could be also writing requirements, understanding how to clearly articulate those requirements in such a clear and unambiguous way. Could be modeling, taking the time to learn how to model using one of the tools. It could be UML, it could be BPMN notation. Could also be your ability to manage difficult or challenging stakeholders. That's your soft tools, soft skills. So identifying what helps, identify your issues or your areas of opportunity is very essential. Now, we're almost coming towards the end, and then we've got some toolkit guidance. Now, this is not exhaustive, right? But what you have here are some of the well-known tools. Jira for planning, Confluence for documentation, Lucidchart for modeling or process, Visio for modeling, Excel for data analysis, SQL for also querying data. So it has a mixture of both documentation, modeling, and data analysis. Now, this is not exhaustive, but these are some of the skills that you need to understand: how the tool works, how it's used in your organization, how you're able to then become effective with using the tools. Very important. Now, one of the things that we would like to do is to demystify some of the things around business analysis, some myth about business analysis. One of the myths or discussions is a BA just taking notes. No, taking notes is that for a note taker or secretary. Your job as a business analyst is to frame the problem and then to be able to put the context and define the solutions. The output is documentation, but not the role. There's a lot more to it. You're there to frame problems, understand the problem, define the solutions, identify the opportunities. You're not the same as a data analyst. So a data analyst role is primarily someone whose job is to simply take some data sets, understand some of those data essential information, and then to be able to generate outputs. It could be working on querying a database to be able to identify insights. Now, one of the things that is different from just a core data analyst as a business analyst is you're there to shape the change. So you work with the requirements, you focus on it, and then you might have to do some initial analysis to be able to define what is the problem, but your strict role is not just working strictly on interpreting data. That's part of what you do, but not exactly the whole thing. When it comes to the technicality, you don't have to be technical to be a business analyst. What you need to have is those skills of communication, eliciting requirements, problem solving, and being able to shape the direction of solutions. So the essential thing is to be a business analyst are your communication skills and your business analysis skills. So communication, problem solving, understanding data, and being able to actually guide and offer solutions. So you don't have to be technical to become a business analyst. So that's one of the myths. Right. Another spoiler, which is something I left, which is in 2026 of today, a BA using AI to summarize stakeholder interviews what should he do? What should he or she do? Please put your answer in the chat. Yes. The key thing is with AI, again, it's a probabilistic tool. You should verify the points because you've been in the meeting room, you understand the nuance. Always don't allow the AI to guide you with vague detail because the AI is probabilistic, and AI, what it does at its core, it's a tool that helps to predict the next probable word to the query or the prompt you've added. So it's probabilistic. It doesn't have the full context. So you should verify whatever you get from it. Finally, in a nutshell, what are the key takeaways we want from the participants today's webinar? To understand what the business analysis role is about. It's about bridging the needs between the business needs and the solution. You are the intermediary, ensuring that the business needs are met and the solution fits the needs. Understanding how to elicit, how to clearly document these requirements so that it is clear for the delivery team to ensure that they can deliver, can be tested. And one of the things to take away is that it's one of the most transferable cross-sector roles in delivery. It's a role that you can easily transition into from your different disciplines. And also that you have established certification bodies that can help to validate and bring about response. So thank you for joining today's webinar. And like I said, for those that have come to the end of the webinar, we will be sending out 5 professional templates, the 2026 Digital Transformation Playbook, and you have the offer to book your 30-minute one-to-one consultation. Thank you very much. Any questions?